Welcome back, everyone, to the Song of Waves and Wind, where earlier we managed to break up the airs of Castamere and we learned of a new power in Umbar, the kindred of the coin. Anything we can do about that, LSR?
I too am concerned about the kindred of the coins.
Whatever power now controls Umbar is beyond debate, though. We must first see to the well-being of our people, while we have the time to do so. Already we have come to some of the deepest wounds inflicted of the War of the Ring. The Lady Vanellos dwells here in sorrow. She is the widow of the fighting companion Forlong, who perished on the Pelennor. Her grief is twofold, for she also survives another, her brother Denethor, victim of Sauron's manipulations. Arwen has taken one of the healers who accompanies us, and the two of them have gone to speak with the Lady Vanellos. Will you attend to them and learn if my queen's administrations have eased her sorrow? The hall of Lady Vanellos is to the east. All right, very well. I will speak with her ladyship, sir. Ah, here we are. We have Lady Vanellos, and it looks like Eorith from the Houses of Healing, and Her Majesty. Hello there, Orleth.
I was just telling the Lady Vanellos that all clouds will surely pass, even in times of grief.
Yes, and even in times of grief, there will be a new dawning of the sun that will shine in the morn, such as you could never expect in the night time, when all seemed darkest. It is true that there have been sorrowful days, and many tears have been shed, but it is like I've always say, there's a remedy for it. You just have to find the right one. And I learned a great deal about healing remedies when I was a child here in Emloth Meldway. Oh yes, I grew up here among all these flowers. Did I ever tell that to you? It is true. Why, when I was just a girl, I never expected to see much further than just down the hill or past the curve of the road. And wouldn't you know that I went on to dwell in Minas Tirith, and in the houses of healing there would be a great many ailments that would take more than medicine, but also a soothing word or three, as it is, like I always say. Eorith must have seen something in Arwen's expression, for she falls silent. Ah, yes. Ah, Eorith.
The queen and her healer, Eorith, mean well, but they can provide no healing for me.
Mine is no ordinary grief. This is not the sorrow of a woman whose husband marched in war and perished there, or that of a woman whose brother ruled a city and fell when it burned. She eyes the Lady Vanellos, shines with tears, but sadness alone does not line her face. Her expression is haunted too by guilt. Would that I had no part in this, then might I grieve as does the rest of Gondor. But I have done as they did not, for I dreamt of what would transpire. I did nothing to prevent it. It's as if I put the axe in the hand of he who slew my Forlong, or cast the torch that set aflame the city walls behind which my brother Denethor perished. It is as if I, Vanellos, did these things by failing to prevent them. Ooh. What do you think about this?
Not all dreams have the meaning you give to them, Vanellos.
My people know well that some there are to whom the Valar grant the gift of foresight. Gift, I say, but so it must be an unwelcome one. Vanellos nods unhappily, and Arwen briefly takes her hand. None disbelieve you, sweet woman. Your dreams came to pass in a way that you foresaw, and great is the pain to grieve, especially when the grieving must begin before the loss is suffered. but to think you might have prevented what the valor showed to you? Can you really believe it might be so? Does the Lady of Lasmilus stand amongst the ranks as such as they? The expression of guilt in Romulus's face disappears, replaced with shock. Arwen continues. Of course not, my dear. Let me help you ease your burdens. Pineleaf, take this bowl and fill it with water from one of the fountains outside the hall. Then add it to some of the water that falls from the heights of the northwestern reaches of Imloth Melway. This will help to soothe the mind of Lady Vanyalos. Okay? Well, at least the fountain was easy to find. Let's get some water in here. And now we got to head on northwest and get to the waterfall without spilling any of this water. I will presume that's the waterfall up ahead, quite a distance away, but we shall get there without spilling any water. Maybe I should have asked for a cover for this bowl. Oh well. Let's head on down. I think that we should be arriving pretty soon. How about through here? Bit of a maze. Alright, here we go. Let's fill up the rest of the bowl. Now, will there be any water left when I get back to the Queen? Here you go, Your Majesty. I hope there's enough water left.
Vihido ininhi, akai hen.
After she says this, she hands the bowl to Lady Vanyalos. She indicates the Lady of Losnach should take a sip of the cool waters. Then Vanyalos is done. Arwen smiles. My friend Eorlith would tell you that no remedy acts as quickly as we might wish, but I hope that you will find the comfort that you deserve. Grieve for your husband Forlog, and for your brother Denethor, but think not to carry the blame of what which befell them. In that you are blameless, and the fault lies with Sauron who wove it, or with the Valar who thought that such dreams might be of use to you.
Oh, is this elf magic, my queen?
The water is cool and refreshing, and even as it passed my lips I confess that I felt the burdens lift. I can't thank you enough for your kind words and for this remedy. I'll grieve for my family and keenly, but you're right. If the dreams of Vanyalos were sent by the powers, none would think her able to turn aside from them or prevent the horrors to be revealed. That would be arrogance unbefitting the Lady of Losanach, or, indeed, any woman of Gondor. Thank you for aiding Queen Arwen with this ritual of elf magic, Pineleaf. I appreciate that you have done so, and I won't forget it. Very well. Now, I can report the success unto the king. All should be well now.
Arwen was able to provide some comfort to the Lady Vonyalos. I am pleased to hear it.
But this does not surprise me. Arwen has always had a rare talent for putting folk at ease, which is only one of the reasons for which I am glad that she accompanied me on our tour of our kingdom. Yes, she left me little choice, but it will do Gondor much good to see its queen. Very well. Now, anything useful here? Actually, that's very useful. I'll take it.
Lady Vonyalos is not the only resident of Losanach who grieves the loss of Forlong.
Furlong was a most popular figure, and treated all the folks of these lands within his governments as if they were his own children. Sometimes he treated me in this way, despite the difference in our ages. Ah, good old Furlong, they used to cheer. We fought together on more than one battlefield, Pineleaf, and he was always a true friend, and big-hearted. Aye, and his frame grew to match. Oh, good old Furlong! Alas for war! The people of Lossark will need to provide for themselves until another lord is raised to the station, and I doubt not that they will. But it will take time to replace such a hole in the Furlong leaves. Let us travel south to Arnach and see what the people there need. All right, on to Arnach! It appears that everybody is staring at the king and his arrival. Well, let's speak with the locals. Hi there.
Is that the king? What is he doing here?
Have we done something wrong, stranger? What could bring such as he to our little village? Is there he here to punish us? Have we suffered enough? Oh, if only Lord Furlong had returned from the fighting, he would speak to the king and tell him that we have done all that we would. Good. Yes. Now, anyone else I need to speak with? Ah, how about this young lad?
That is the king? What's he doing here in Arnach?
Doesn't he know that he's supposed to stay in the tower? What's he doing here? I don't think he's a very good king if he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. Oh, we're supposed to be picking berries and hunting deer and to fill the storehouses. Now that the men have come back from the war, he's not going to be doing that, surely. Well, who knows? We're talking about Aragorn here. All right. And, oh, here's a woman of Arnach.
That is King Elisar! Oh, I would know him anywhere.
Yeah, my family attended the royal wedding, stranger. Well, we were among the crowd, but even at such a great distance, I could tell the king and his elf bride would be so happy with each other and would rule Gondor fairly and well. But I didn't expect either of them to come to Arnach. He's going to get mud all over his fine clothes. Oh dear, I'm so ashamed. Well, won't be the first time he's had mud on his clothes. Well, sir, they're planning on gathering food today.
What do the folk of Arnach need us to do?
Well, I'm not going to punish them. They and their lord did more than they could be expected of anyone during these past few months. We will help them with their tasks, my new friend, and when we move on, we will leave their storehouses filled. Is that clear enough? Yep, that means I need to go and pick some berries, I guess. I suppose that means going out through the south entrance of the town. What do we got around here? Wolves. I thought I heard something suspicious around here. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And I thought the wolves were the worst around. Sneaky of you. Well, let's go see if we can find some berry bushes. Ah, I think I see one up ahead. I also see a bee, and I remember these bees. They were rather annoying. That's what I remember about those bees. Now let's go and collect some berries. Let's start with this. Good. Here's another bush. Let's see what we got here. Alright, good. Yep. Very aggressive bees. Why couldn't he have nice, gentle... they won't bother me if I don't bother them type bees as we have in the Shire. Apparently down here, the bees just like being aggressive. Oh, maybe they're aggressive because of the Avant that came out around here. Well, we know those are always bad news. Oops. Yeah. I'm sure you're all nice and nasty. Oh. Hello. Oh. That was. Oh, really? What, was that your friend or something? Fine. I'll fight you. We could just have left well enough alone. No. Now, I need more bushes. Ah, here's another bush. Hi, Eladon.
This was my berry bush. Now it is fine.
The bounty of all these bushes will end up in the Arnach storehouse. Mind not that I picked the finest berries from the bush before you arrived. While I chose to pick these berries, my sibling is more of a hunter, and brought down a deer not far from here. Perhaps you can start preparing the meat to bring back to Arnach? The deer would be just to the southeast of here. Alright, fine. Let us find Eladon's sibling. Ah, I found the deer, but no sign of the sibling. Well, let's have a look at this. The hunter who brought down the deer steps out from behind the rock. The queen. Oh well, I suppose that's Eladon's sibling. Hi there, your majesty.
I borrowed this bow from my brother Elro here. Will you return it to him?
I may be queen, but I think it is important for the folk of Gondor to see that I work to provide for them, as does my husband. Will you return the bow and quiver to him while I finish preparing this meat? It has been some time since I had such a task, but I do know how it is done. Right here will be somewhere within Arnach, working alongside my husband. Alright, fine. I shall do so, ma'am. Now, let us head back to Arnach. Ah, here are Gimli and Elro here. Hello there.
Ah, I see my sister has finished with the bow and quiver I lent to her.
I hope Arwen wasn't too disappointed not to bring down any prey. Ooh, why she's preparing the meat? Even after all these years, she has the skill for it? I had thought residing in Meladris these past years might have driven how it is done from her memory, but I suppose it's not so. She need not prove it to me, though. Perhaps it is the folk of the Gondor she thinks needs convincing. Anyway, thank you for returning my bow and my quiver. You're welcome. Now, let's see what the king has to say. How's the construction work going?
Thanks to our efforts, the folk of Arnach will be well provided for in the weeks to come.
I hope that this will be a comfort to them and to the memory of Forlong. Will you speak with Barador and learn if there's anything else that we need to do before departing? Perhaps he can have news of the villages of Upper Lebanon and can guide us on our course. Alright, I'll speak to Baranor. Baranor. Where? Ah. I think that's him up ahead. Hello, sir. Is there anything else you need doing?
We do appreciate the work you all have done for us. Of course we do.
It's just that, well, the folk of Arnach are a little uncomfortable with their king doing just labor. It is not unwelcome, they're just unused to such things. They have taken hard the death of Forlong. If you encountered him in a tavern, he might buy ales for everyone in the place, and spin tales you couldn't help but believe, no matter how incredible that they seemed. But he was one of us. Good old Forlong! This king and his elf queen, well, they seem well-intentioned, but it'll take time for the people to warm up to them. I hope you understand. The king wishes to know the news from Upper Lebanon. I have been in contact with Captain Imladir in Tumladen, and he says now that the war is over, the refuge is emptying, but slowly. Other than that, I have heard little. Right now, let's see what the king has to say about that. Ah, it appears that he has finished his construction work.
Aye, Baranor surely speaks truth.
Tumladen must be emptying of refugees now that the War of the Ring is ended and the people of Gondor return to their homes. I would like to hear how that proceeds, but perhaps we need not bring the company there in its entirety. Uh-huh.
I will go with the rest of the traveling party to Pelagir, but I ask that you journey first to Tumladen.
I want you to speak with Captain Imladir. If he has need of you, do what you can to assist him in my name. When he can be assured that the situation of the refuge is indeed at hand, then I will see you again at Pelargir. I have much to discuss with Siragon, as you know, and I would prefer to speak with him sooner rather than later. Very well. I shall head over to Tumladen and speak with the captain, which is what we'll do in the next episode of The Song of Waves and Winds.